right, so it's great to be back here with you all. That you've heard that saying about it's much harder to write a short memo than a long one. I've got 10 minutes, I normally speak for 60, so we're going to go like lightning here. I've spent most of my life in startups, building companies, selling them to big companies, escaping the big companies, and it's fascinating to sit on the other side of the fence and look at big companies and medium-sized companies and people in startups, and they read everything going on out there, and they read Fast Company, and they scour Medium, and they read their Twitter posts, and they link to articles in Fortune, and they get trapped in this incredible language that we create to what happens inside the companies around us. And we hear about the need for leadership and change, it takes time, and you've got to fail fast, and we're going to Uber that app, and we're going to do all these incredible things. And largely, it's all bullshit. Largely, it's a big con, because we love to self-promote. So we create these frames, we create language to describe what's happening, and the language is largely inaccurate and doesn't help us. So what I wanted to do was to talk about a few of these cons for a second, and just challenge you when you leave here today to go, I'm actually not going to believe what I'm told anymore. I'm actually going to really go and interrogate it and ask the how we do it, right? You hear things like, we're going to experiment at the edges. We're going to build our little AR thing down here, our augmented reality thing, and it's going to be a really good little experiment at the edge, and then eventually, over time, we will put this in our business. And you just don't have time. How many of you have seen this chart here before? I actually can't see any of you, but a few of you put your hand up. Thank you for down the front here. It's bullshit, right? This was invented in about 1980 to describe what happened when selling printers, when printers were invented. The world looks like this, right? And you have no time. You have no time. You have to, whatever you think you need to do it with such urgency. Such urgency. If you look at Xero and the growth of Xero as a business I've been involved in for over 10 years now, it took us 4 years to get 50,000 customers, and now it takes us months to add 50,000 customers. I'd hate to be a competitor of Xero. How many of you own a speaker from Bose, Sonos, Logitech, JBL, Jawbone, Sony, major speaker brands, right? You've all got one. And you can imagine working for Bose where you've got German audio engineers on your side, for God's sake. I mean, and you're busy sitting there, and life's good in 2014, and you've got 30% of the market, and you're planning your attendance at the Milan Speaker Trade Show Conference and doing deals with, Adele or whoever to promote your speakers, and then you're sitting with your management team, and who's our big competitors? Oh, I'm worried about what those crazy Sony guys could be doing, and those Logitech people, they're pretty innovative. And then, bam, Amazon destroys you overnight. In 1 year becomes the leading speaker manufacturer in the world. Amazon. It's a shitty e-commerce site, right? It just happens to sell a lot of stuff. And suddenly, they're challenging your German audio engineers. Or the dating industry. You're trundling along, you saw the ads for eHarmony, Match.com, always at the movie theatre, which I could never understand why you'd be advertising to people on a date at the movie theatre. But probably a clean indication of how unhappy they all were. And then Tinder. Months it took Tinder. How many of you are on Tinder? Oh, I normally get someone to put their hand up, but